For many people coming home from prison, the hardest part begins in the weeks and months after release when the search for housing and steady work sets in. One of those stories is that of Chanell Burnette. She's in her mid-40s, lives in Virginia, is a mother of two, and is trying to rebuild her life after serving an almost 20-year prison sentence. While she was incarcerated, she used her time to earn several certifications, including a paralegal license. She was released from prison last June, and since then has been trying to land full-time employment. So far, that search has felt hopeless.
You can have the qualifications, you have the knowledge, you have everything, versus someone who may not even be as qualified, but being they don't have the felony and you do, you're automatically disqualified. So it's like a lot of places are saying they're hiring, and then when, you do apply and they see these charges, they're, automatically not interested any longer.
The only sector where she's received a response is in retail. She currently juggles 2 part-time sales jobs, but neither has benefits, and there's little opportunity for advancement.
When I have these certifications saying that I'm qualified to do this, and even though I may have the knowledge to do, better things, I'm knocked out of the category by other people who don't have this felony.
One resource she's used is called TAP, or Total Action Against Poverty, which helps connect job seekers with local temp agencies, staffing short-term roles for larger employers. While these roles can, in theory, lead to permanent full-time jobs with the companies, Burnette has never made the cut.
I would get hired for a position through the temp agency, and when they would refer me to the company didn't want to take me because they didn't take felons. So it's like, you set me up for this interview, and I did all of this, and you say I have this employment, and now I don't have the job because the company said no. It is difficult. A lot of sleepless nights, honestly. Still trying to just process everything. I still journal to kind of just get myself through mentally. It's been a lot.
And Burnette isn't alone. What she keeps running into isn't about interview performance or work ethic. It's about risk. Without civil immunity protections, employers can face lawsuits if an employee with a criminal record commits another crime while on the job. To avoid that risk, many hiring departments quietly follow a policy that avoids bringing on anyone with a record. These blanket policies can dramatically reshape the job market for a large share of our workforce who find themselves in the same position. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce reports that about 79 million people in America hold a criminal record. This equates to roughly 1 in 3 adults, many of whom can't find a job because of their past. For many women in this group, a record becomes an automatic exclusion from pink-collar work. These are service-oriented jobs in beauty, healthcare, administration, and other fields they're experienced in or drawn to, but can't access because of state licensing rules.
You can get the degree, spend all this money, and then be told that you cannot take the exam. Like, you basically wasted all your money because you're not going to be able to go into the field that you went to school for. So it's disheartening. It sends folks down a dark path when they're looking forward to doing something new and exciting with their lives, and then doors are being shut in their face.
That's Colette Payne, a formerly incarcerated woman and the director of the Reclamation Project at the Women's Justice Institute in Chicago. Today, she works with many women with records who are trying to get hired within pink-collar industries. Payne first entered the prison system at 14 and spent years cycling in and out before turning her life around in 2012. She's long been drawn to people-facing work, and as part of a job readiness program, remembers accepting an unpaid administrative and housing-focused internship at YMCA in downtown Chicago. After finishing the internship, she felt hopeful about the possibility of it leading to something more.
I remember them wanting to hire me, and I felt they was like, you should put in for it. After your internship, I did exactly that. And then the background check came back, and they gave it to me in the mail. And they said, okay, you can dispute it and come in and talk about it, with the employer. And I was like, sure, because I know I just did this, I think it was a month internship for free. And I was good enough to do that month internship for free, but I wasn't good enough to be hired. And they told me, because of your background and the certain charges that you have, we're not going to be able to hire you.
In Payne's case, she was exceptionally good in the role, but company policy kept it from becoming official. And she says this happens again and again, especially in jobs that involve care, trust, or special access. Many of these positions require state-issued licenses, leaving the final decision in the hands of occupational boards made up of professionals from that field.
A lot of the roles and jobs that women play during their incarceration, they can't come home and get a license to do the very thing that they've been doing for years.
That's Marlon Chamberlain, a former prisoner and the founder and executive director of the Illinois Coalition to End Permanent Punishments. Chamberlain says that these panel experts who approve or deny licenses often have broad discretion and little context for what a charge actually means or how long ago it happened.
Let's say, for instance, you have a possession of a firearm and all you were convicted of possession, but the way the charge reads, if somebody from downstate who's not aware of that particular charge, the way they would read that charge, it would look as if this person had a firearm and they were out in public sort of brandishing the gun or whatever, when it was just a simple possession. This person was arrested for possession of a firearm. But the way that charge reads, certain people from different committees would deny that person an opportunity for the license based on how the charge is read, not the actual charge or what this individual has done since the charge.
Data from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce also reflects this systemic failure. Unemployment among people with criminal records currently hovers around 30%. Compare this to the national unemployment rate of 4.6% from November of this year.
One of the common themes that we've heard from individuals who have been out a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10, 15, we've even talked to people who have been home 40 years, is that they've all talked about how their record has continued to haunt them in a sense of where they work, where they live, where they can go to school, if they're able to participate in their kids' livelihood. And so what we've also heard from people is that folks are not just looking to find a job, folks are looking for careers. And there's over 1,000 statutory barriers that basically determine whether a person can pursue a career or not.
In Illinois, lawmakers recently passed the Clean Slate Act, a big step towards clearing these barriers to employment. The new law automatically seals eligible criminal records after a set period of time without requiring people to go through the lengthy process of petitioning the courts or hiring a lawyer. This shift is critical because it moves the burden and financial barrier off the individuals who are already struggling to get by. In Illinois, about 2 million people are eligible and will begin having their records automatically sealed starting in 2026. While law enforcement and other state agencies will still have access, private background checks done through employers and landlords will be cleared for those who are eligible. The new law does have some exclusions and doesn't wipe convictions for murder, sex offenses, domestic battery, and other serious crimes. Chamberlain is clear that Clean Slate isn't about eliminating consequences. It's about creating a path forward for those who've served their time and want to change.
I would make this distinction that we also believe in accountability. And so people who are out currently committing crimes, we believe they should be held accountable. What we're simply saying is that at some point, this individual may have a change of heart, and we want to create opportunities and pathways where when people grow or people mature, that they have an opportunity to change their life and that they're not defined by one or two mistakes that they've made in life, that they're giving a real opportunity to turn it around.
For people like Chanell Burnette, this is her reality. She's actively rebuilding her life and searching for a steady job that leads somewhere. For her and many others across the country, laws like the Clean Slate Act will decide whether a past mistake will continue to cancel out every future possibility.
It could be wiped clean and we'd be all given a second chance without being looked at as these awful people that, made these mistakes. A lot of people make mistakes, but if we're not given a chance to get back up and do something different, then how are you ever going to know if we can do better if you don't provide the opportunity?
To learn more about this topic, resources, and our guests, Chanell Burnette, Colette Payne, and Marlon Chamberlain, head to viewpointsradio.org. For more behind the scenes and to support our show, follow us at Viewpoints Radio on Instagram, Facebook, and X. This story was written by our executive producer, Amirah Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.